Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this year's first Popcorn with a Program session. My name is Bea Velasquez. My pronouns are they, them, and I am one of the student life coordinators. I am housed at the West Campus, and today I'm here with you all virtually in the program faculty and staff room number 1. And joining me, we have several different folks from different programs here at Pima. They're going to each introduce themselves and share a little bit about their role and how they support students, and then answer any questions that we might have towards the end. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first person up will be Donna Khan.
Hi, my name is Donna Khan. I am the program coordinator for the Early Childhood and Education program here at Pima Community College. I'm located at the Desert Vista campus. Our program is basically an associate and undergraduate program for those looking to go into the teaching field or working with children from birth through 3rd grade. We have 2 certificates and 3 degree options within our program. And we have a variety of transfer agreements with both in-state and out-of-state universities to get you onto the bachelor program for teacher certification. My email is dcohn@pima.edu, and I'm happy to entertain any questions or provide information for you on our program. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Donna. That was such a good general summary of what you do. And so next we have Tirza.
Hi, my name is Tirza Sanders, and I'm the program manager for the post-bac teacher education program. So how Donna and I's program differ is to enter our program, you need to have a bachelor's degree already. It can be a bachelor's degree in any subject from any country, and then you can pursue your teaching certification from there. Some interesting things about our program is you can start teaching immediately on an alternative teaching certificate. So you can start, working and teaching in a school, getting paid, getting full benefits while you're taking the classes to become a successful teacher with a full standard teaching certificate. We offer elementary certificates, that's going to be K-8, secondary, that's 6 through 12 grades, and then mild moderate as well, mild moderate special education, which is going to be a K through 12 teaching certificate. My email is tsanders4@pima.edu. Again, that's tsanders4@pima.edu. If you have any questions, you can always email me there. There are some program entry requirements like having a fingerprint clearance card and having a bachelor's degree. We also offer a grant currently called the Arizona Teacher Academy Grant. And if you accept that grant, then all of your tuition and fees are paid for. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tirza. I'm excited to ask you a couple of questions when we're done with this, because I've heard about this program and it seems pretty rad. Next up, we have Jeffrey Gathidis.
Hola a todos. Me gustaría hacer esto en español, la primera parte, porque si no habla español, no puede entrar en este programa de un nivel avanzado. Entonces, solo quería decir eso al principio. So, I direct the translation and interpretation program, and it's what we offer a certificate and an associate's degree. Most of the students come into the program to earn their certificate, and then a lot of them will actually turn it into an associate's degree. So that will allow them to further their education if they desire. In order to get into the program for the translation and interpretation studies, there is actually an entrance exam. So that each student will have to take that just to make sure that the Spanish and English levels are up at a sufficiently high level in order to perform the tasks and the functions that are necessary to be successful in the program. the test only takes about 20 minutes, or 15. It's a pretty quick test. It's free. You can take it at any of the campuses or online. Another great thing about the program that we like our students to know is that the whole program can be taken online, fully online. So we do offer classes face-to-face and virtually, but the whole program can be taken fully online. So that's kind of an exciting thing. We actually have students all over the country. That I have a couple of students in one of my classes this semester that are they Zoom in from California every day. So one other exciting thing, just one little quick thing that I think is important. We have tried to align our program with external certification exams. So when a student comes through the program, not only will they earn a certificate or an associate's degree, but they can also earn up to 3 different certifications: a medical certification, a legal certification that allows you to work in the Superior Courts of Arizona, and a certification with a CAT tool, which stands for Computer Assisted Translation Tool, called Trados, or it's a program that helps facilitate the translation process. So translation is the written form, interpretation is the spoken form. Not a lot of people know that. Sometimes we call it all translation, but there actually is a difference between the two. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to send me an email, jwgavitas@pima.edu.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. That was great to learn about that program. I didn't know that it was available fully online. Super good information to have. And last, but certainly not least, we have Kim Lisa joining us, who represents the Social Studies Pima Online program.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Lisa Salazar Duchisela, and I am the department head for Pima Online Social Studies, with the exception of psychology. And I also teach history here at Pima Community College. And the thing about my department is I cover the associate's degree in liberal arts. Many of those classes are in my area. And also, if you are doing an AJAC of any kind, those courses, many of the courses that you would have to take, are also available in my area. We have available fully online anthropology, economics 201 and 202, many of the history classes, political science 210, and sociology. The really exciting thing I think about my area is the classes are all fully online, and many of them, with very few exceptions, are what we call OER, which means Open Educational Resources. And what that means for you is that you don't have a textbook cost on these courses. All of the things that you need as far as textbooks and readings and things like that are all built into the class for you. So everything is there for you when you check into the class, the first day of class, without a textbook cost. I also teach history on the campuses when I'm not teaching fully online. And history, just to give it a plug, is a really cool discipline. And for those of you that are thinking about history, either as one of your GE requirements or as something that you're going to transfer over and take at the universities, please feel free to reach out to me on those. All of the social sciences and humanities designated classes that are in my area are all classes that are about critical thinking. You also have several classes that are fully online in my area that are ICG classes all at once. for those of you that are, so that means intensive writing, your cultural designation, and your global designation. For those of you that need that for your AJAC. So if you have any questions about social studies online or history, please feel free to reach out to me. I am at kjuchisella@pima.edu.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all being here with us today. I had a couple follow-up questions. My first question is for Tirza. I couldn't remember if you had mentioned two things. Is the program fully online? And how long, like, is that an option? And how long does it typically take to complete?
Thanks for the question. It is fully online. We actually do not offer currently any of the classes in person. And one of the reasons for that is most of our students, about 2/3, do teach full-time while they're in the program. And so just to make it more convenient for them, it is online. And it really depends. The quickest you can get through the program is 1.5 years. But because most of our students are full-time working adults, it does take them a little longer because they're only going to courses part-time. So normally 2 to 2.5 years to fully get through the program, depending on which one. Secondary is a little shorter than elementary and mild moderate. But the great thing about it is you can go at your own pace. There's not that many requirements on how many courses you take at once, so we can plan a completion plan that works for each student and how, if they maybe aren't working, they can go full-time, or if they're really busy and have children at home and full-time jobs, they can go part-time. So it's pretty flexible based on their needs.
Awesome, that's fantastic. The other question that I had was if Pima offers like the support or just like help with the different steps that are necessary to take to become a certified substitute teacher in Arizona.
We do. I sometimes feel like I serve as the de facto Arizona Department of Education just because they're a little harder to reach. And I've been doing this so long that I can help kind of translate their webpage. But getting a subcert's actually really easy. All you need is a fingerprint clearance card and a bachelor's degree and $60, and you can send that in and get your subcert. So we often encourage students that don't have a lot of experience and maybe aren't comfortable jumping right into being teachers to sub for a while before they start teaching. Maybe they don't know if they want to work with the little ones or the older students or what subject. And so the more experience they can get subbing, that could become clearer for them. We are in desperate need of subs right now in Tucson. We're in desperate need of teachers as well, but they've upped the sub pay. In some districts, it's about $150 a day. If it ends up being a long-term sub, it can get more than that. So, it's flexible for one thing. You can sub when you want and not when you don't. And also you can, make okay money subbing as well and get the experience with the kids and in the classroom.
Yeah, definitely. I have a couple of students that come to mind who have come and spoken to me about maybe getting involved in education. And I've sort of told them similar things about trying out subbing, but I will definitely share your contact with them so that they can stay connected to the college and get some more of that support.
Yeah, and if they don't have a bachelor's degree, they can always be an aide as well. Aide doesn't pay as well, but it is a really good experience and it's very rewarding. And you definitely always will get all the hours you want because there's always open positions for aides. So it's also a good place to start if you're working towards getting your bachelor's degree so you can start teaching in the classroom.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I also had another question. This one is for Jeffrey. One of the questions that I had was just sort of like reflecting on how remote work has influenced the workplace in the last almost 2 years with COVID and such. Is translation and interpretation work primarily remote right now? Is there, would you say it's one of the areas where folks have more of that remote work capacity?
Yeah, good question. It actually depends on what field you're working in. If you're working in the translation field, if you're a freelancer, obviously you can do a lot of that from your own home, sending documents back and forth to your clients, versus if you're working in-house somewhere. But for interpretation, a lot of, during the COVID crisis, we actually had to obviously everyone had to go through Zoom, and so the interpreter had to interpret on Zoom. So one of the things that we did, this was actually kind of cool. I have an advisory committee that I meet with, and I asked them what they thought about teaching the students how to interpret over Zoom, how to set that up, and the administration supported that. So all of my students now have their own pro accounts for Zoom, and they get to learn how to interpret in Zoom. So whether they interpret in person or virtually, they know how to do both. So, and of course, both are happening right now. So.
Yeah, super interesting. And I think maybe one of the student life events was kind of one of the first attempts you all did to have your students try using that translation service. And so I remember setting up the event, but I didn't have the direct emails for the students who were going to be translating. And I think that information has to be like put into your Zoom event beforehand as you also enable translation. But yeah, I remember when Zoom kind of did those upgrades as well.
Yeah, you can actually, you have to set up the meeting with Zoom, with the interpretation function open. If you don't, then it won't let you do it. You can have an interpreter come in afterward, but the meeting has to be set up with the interpreter function. That's one of the big deals. Also, I forgot to mention this, and Kim Lisa kind of reminded me of this. Another thing that's in our program that's kind of cool, we also use OER for all of our courses. There's actually the students only have to buy one book in the whole program, which is pretty cool. And it's not that expensive a book. So anyway, that's just another little tidbit of information. Thanks, Kim Lisa, for reminding me about that.
Yeah, OER is awesome. And to see the way that Pima has really incorporated OER and been really open to students' suggestions and opinions has been really cool. I mean, I graduated from my undergrad 10 years ago, and I remember it was like, there was this mentality around like, oh yeah, that's just how it goes, spend another $700 to like $1,200 on your books once your semester starts. And so it's really awesome to see that students have different options now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.